Hello everyone and welcome back to another season of the Cameron Roger highlights, the FSR Pro Championship here for 2024. As you see, we're in a new team. We're at Evo now. Unfortunately, with Burst folding, we've gone to a new team, Dennis Jordan team, and we have Matthias Harvig, Tom Oldermenger, and my old friend Gerlof de Vries coming back for a 4-car charge. And here is our livery. It's very nice, and of course, big thanks to Dennis for getting us into Evo, who are resurrecting themselves for this season, and hopefully let's try and have a good one. Unfortunately, we're a little bit off the pace. All of the Evo boys are a bit further down in qualifying than we would have wanted, but the field is very, very close. It's basically half a second between all of these cars, so if you miss it by a few tenths, then yeah, you start at the back. So we started on soft tyres to try and get a bit of a jump, hopefully on this first lap. We already are trying to get past one of the valet cars here, but then we've got a teammate in front of us. We've got 3 cars coming down towards turn number 1, and we can't really do too much. You now got Super Venturi around the outside, and it's very, very tight and deep. We managed to squeeze our way through turn 2 nicely and get the run up the hill towards turn number 4. We are looking at 2-stop strategy today, but I want to make some moves early on in the race. We go down the inside, potentially a couple of positions here, but then Go Team has a little bit of a wiggle, so we get the run up towards turns 5 and 6. Very tricky overtaking opportunity, but we send it down the inside there. We're already up into P16, 5 places already. Then Danny Van Den Eek, he leaves the door open, so we send it up the inside of him as well to get up into P15, and already up towards our teammate Tom Oldermenger, who had a little bit of a bad start to coming towards turn 9 and 10. We're not going to fight him too hard. Very tricky braking zone. He tries to go up the inside of one of the Hyperion cars, but unfortunately he gets a cut track, so he slows down to avoid a penalty, and that gives us another position. So we give him the slipstream to try and get back up to speed, but already P14 from P21, making up 7 places there just in the opening 2 sectors of the lap. So yeah, we do have, of course, quite a long race, 48 laps, so we need to try and just work our way forward. But the issue is these guys ahead, they want to use their push to pass, but they are all on the harder compound tyres, the mediums or the hard. So we send up the inside on our soft compound tyres, loads more grip, loads more confidence. And even though Andrzejewski here does try and come back, we know that we want to hold on to this, because look at the train of cars. If we can just keep on picking them off one by one like that, we might still have the opportunity for a good result today. So we confirm that position there into P4. Now coming on to lap 3, we got a Go Team now. Royal Blue Racing unfortunately folded, and we got the Go Teams now replacing all of them, and as they're following each other, bit early braking in towards turn 4, so we use the opportunity to dive up the inside. And once again, we've already done this so far this race. We know we can do it, make the move in towards turn 5, but actually he starts to hold it, so I have to go around the outside of turn 7, and then we complete the move. But once more, just look at the train of cars in front and behind. A very, very competitive field this year in Pro. It's going to be a lot more difficult for myself and Tom to always get up inside that top 10. Giuseppe Saraceno is going to come back at us, the car that we just overtook, but we know that we have got some decent braking once more. We hold it to the inside, but now up ahead Alex Maggio is having a little bit of an issue. He runs wide at turn 1, and it is basically just a full train of cars now, and they decide to go side by side with Stoyan Barbakov in towards turn 4, and that of course is going to just slow them down a little bit, and then try and of course open the door for us potentially. So we get on the back of Maggio again on the hard combat tyres. We're still on the softs and only lap 5, so we've still got a huge grip advantage at this point. So I decide that I'm going to go for it. He does use quite a bit of the hybrid system to try and defend, but we send it down the inside and make that place up. But in hindsight, this might have not been the best idea, because of course the DRS, only one zone here down the front straight, but the DRS is coming up very quickly. So he's going to try and have a go back at me. I do a little wiggle here because I'm like, mate, please don't fight me. I'm faster. Unfortunately, he goes down the inside. He makes some contact with me as well in towards turn 1, slides the wrist, slowing us down, losing that gap to the cars ahead. And I'm a little bit annoyed by this, because I'm like, why is he doing this? Obviously I'm on the soft compound tyres, but he wants to defend. He goes hard to the right hand side. I keep him there as long as possible, go to the left to try and get a bit of a switchback. We time it nicely, but we don't quite get the exit that we would have wanted, so I use a lot of the hybrid here to try and get past him, but so does he. But I'm not having any of that. I'm going to send it down the inside, at least try and make him work for it, and he has to back out in the end, so we make that move stick. And in the background, Danny Van Den Eek goes for a spin as well after some contact with our teammate Matthias Harvig. But look at the train of cars behind us. These are all the cars basically that we've overtaken. We've made up 10 places. We're up to P11, 10 places already in the first 6 laps of the race. So I'm very happy with how this is working out. Of course, struggling in qualifying, but the race pace coming back. And now a few laps later, we've caught up to the train ahead, and we've lost a lot of the train behind. And then a few laps later, unfortunately, we weren't quite able to hold on as the soft tyres started to fall away, so we come into the pit lane. The plan was soft, medium, hard, basically 14, 16, 18 laps, but we'll see how that goes because it depends on the undercut situation. And this time around, myself and Matthias in behind, we come out in completely clear air, so this is very good indeed. A lap later, Lucas Murno also makes his pit stop, and he's coming in behind on the same strategy of going to the mediums in this middle compound, so we let him go up the inside there, as a couple of these cars ahead haven't stopped yet, and coming up towards turn 4, we were feeling a little bit racy. So I wanted to try and get up the inside here, so I send it down the inside, late braking, but a little bit too late, and he gets the exit and gets us back. So this is the time where we decide, okay, now we're going to sit in behind, and actually it works out quite well because Lucas sends up the inside of Scott Flack there, coming down this back straight. I'm actually like, okay, let's do this. Let's try and get past him. We got the DRS, of course, the detection's halfway down that straight, so let's get him up the inside as well. So we get past Scott, then Lucas runs a bit wide, so we get him, and that is perfect because we are now on the back of Stoyan Barbakov here, the driver that we're behind just before the pit stops, and he is on the hard compound tyres, so we should have a bit of a pace advantage in this middle stint. Coming out the pit lane is also Sergio Fletcher, who we've caught up to, who started on pole position, and we make a bit of contact there with Stoyan, as we're too busy focusing on Fletcher, but then go around the outside of Slovenak as well. We just fit a little bit of contact on the rear, so let's see this. So yeah, a little bit of a bump there on Stoyan, and as we come through turn 2 here, Slovenak all over the curb, comes a bit wide, hits me. I mean, I'm fully on the right hand side of the track, and unfortunately the unluckiest person in FSR, Scott Flack, gets caught up in that. And as you see here, as the stint goes on, already on to lap 29 here, we just can't quite keep up with Stoyan. He's on the hard compound tyres, but he just has that little bit of further pace. So here's the cars up ahead. Fletcher's pulled away, then we've got Vac, Macheda, they're a little bit further ahead. Then Munier is trying to follow Sever, and Zux batting out for the race win. So we have decent pace today, but unfortunately we are sort of 20 odd seconds off the lead by this point in the race. So we come into the pit lane for our second stop, but we decide, as we get in the undercut, let's go on to the mediums again. We stayed out an extra lap, so instead of doing 16-18 medium hard, we're going to do 17-17 medium, and let's try and get the undercut on Stoyan Barbakov. But unfortunately, Maciej Heiler has come out just in front of us, and this is really not good for our race because he's going to cost us a little bit of time on this important outlap where we should be gaining a second or so on Stoyan. And as we come down this back straight, remember he's on the hard tyres, he still hasn't had his pit stop yet, he's really fighting it here. I mean, I'm full push to pass here, and so is he, and slightly turning in there in towards corner at the end of the back straight, and we managed to get him, but unfortunately that just loses us a few crucial tenths that Barbakov was able to hold on, and the undercut wasn't powerful enough. So now Barbakov, he's on the medium compound tyres, and they're a lap fresher as well, so this is not the ideal situation. So we know we've got to get the track position on him in towards turn number 4. We'd already done this earlier in the race to his teammate. We send it down the inside, we block it on the apex as well, bit of contact, but to be honest I hit him in turn 1 earlier, so I'm not too worried about that. And we continue the battle on. We're currently into 11th position once some of these pit stops have started to come out. The issue is Barbakov, we could only barely keep up with him when we were on the softer tyres in the previous stint. Now we're on the exact same compound, so he probably has a little bit more pace than us. Coming in towards turn 1, we go up into 9th place after some more pit stops. Unfortunately, Barbakov is going to change that and put us down into 10th place. And as you see, we weren't quite able to hold on to him. But in behind, we've got Christian Pascal and we've got Giuseppe Saracino, the 2 Go Team cars, trying to chase us down. So I'm surrounded by all of the Go Team cars who are having a pretty strong race here to start the season. And as you see there, we're just struggling a bit with the rear tyres on this stint for some reason. I just can't quite get the traction and the feeling in the rear of the car, and Christian Pascal sees that and he's going to use his opportunity to try and get us down this front straight. And you see in the background there, we've got a couple of cars, our teammate Tom Oldermenger as well, coming for us. So we know we've got to be careful and not lose too much time here. So we let him go, just let him have the racing line, and let's see how this one works. So unfortunately, we get overtaken there by Christian Pascal, down to 10th place, which is still an improvement from P21, but we want to stay inside that top 10. The issue is Giuseppe Saracino, he's on the medium compound tyre as well. Similar strategy to us, but he's just got the pace at this point in the race, and he flies past. And once again, we decide not to overtake at this point in the race. It's lap 45, so we've got 4 laps to go, including this one. Let's just save the time for now and just try and hold on to these tyres. We've still got that gap behind, so we're looking pretty good at this point in the race. And to be honest, I was feeling it. Now lap 46, and we're staying with Giuseppe. So I'm like, yes, We can do this. We can get him back. We just need to wait for this opportunity. So use a little bit of battery here. I was still looking good on the state of charge. We just go slightly to the inside just to put him off, and it works. So I know he's looking in his mirrors and he's worried about me, and he's struggling a bit with the rear tyres as well. So this is not going to be an easy one for him to hold on. And look again, he's struggling on that rear end of the car. He can't quite make the apex here, so I know his tyres are just as done as mine, although to be honest, mine were done 3 laps ago by this point. Coming on to the front straight, we've got 2 laps to go in this race. First race of the season. Let's try and get a top 10. We open up the DRS at the start-finish line there, but he uses so much hybrid here. He's really defending, so it's going to be a tough late lunge down the inside, but we've got to go for it. And coming in towards the apex, unfortunately, we locked the rear end. We just managed to save it, but Giuseppe goes past, and my rear tyres are absolutely cooked by this point. So here's from his point of view down the inside there. Woo, there I go. And we did have a bit of a laugh about it after the race. So, yeah, I'm sorry to him for almost crashing on the final lap, but let's see. Talking of the final lap, we come onto it, and Tom Alderminger is on the soft compound tyres. He's really racy at the end of this race. We were 10 seconds ahead of him at one point, but we have just fallen off like a cliff in this final stint. All of the Go Team cars are gone, and now it's a 1v1. No team orders here. We are just absolutely racing for this one. So he gets the run. So much more traction out of turn 3, up the hill. So I'm like, okay, I'll save a bit of push pass, let him go down the inside, but we'll try and get the switchback like we've done 3-4 times already, and it's worked. We've got the inside line up towards turn 5 and 6, but I'm like, it's my teammate final lap. I'm not going to crash into each other, so I'll let him go. I'll let him have that one. And down into P12. The issue is you've got Andrzejewski coming in behind, so got to be careful coming through this final sector not to lose the rear end too much or do anything silly, but it's actually the other way around, because in the background you can see he just goes for a spin, and that is going to make us come across the line in a interesting P12. I'm not too happy with it, but I'm not also too disappointed. We started P21. It was a very competitive field. We managed to get up as high as P9 at one point in the race, so I'm actually not too worried about that. The Evo boys, we were slightly off the pace today. Of course, Tom was used to getting top 5s all the time last season, but Matthias Harvigs were on debut and pro coming across P18. Unfortunately, Gerloff had to DNF after some issues, but overall, I think that was a good start to the season. We got something to work from. We know where we need to improve in the setup. It wasn't quite there, but I'm feeling confident that we can have a strong season, and I'm really happy with the pro field. It's so competitive, and that's what I like. I'd rather finish P12 in a competitive field than finish P1 just winning every race easily. So this is going to be a fun season, I hope. And you can follow us along when we go to the next race in Melbourne, which should be very high speed, very interesting with the new layout. So we'll see you then.